So in this video, we'll go through the budget templates for the Arts and Culture Program, Network Funding, Volt and Norden 0 to 30. As for the budget template for the funding for artist residencies, it's slightly different, so I recommend you to contact the advisors concerning this budget. And once you're on the website, you go to the top menu, Grants section, and click there to find your way to the left menu on the grant programs. And for today, as I said, we'll go through the Culture and Art Program template. You click on the Culture and Art Program and you'll find all the criteria and the presentation of the program. And if you scroll down to Finances, you'll find also a section explaining the finances and the criteria regarding this. And also in the bottom section, you'll find the budget appendix. So we'll download that budget and open it. So first of all, keep in mind that to state your project title, which program you applied from, and the exchange rate you use in case your currency is not euros. So all our budgets, we require that you submit them in euros, and in case you don't have euros, you state the exchange rate that you're using. So for this example, I'm going to go through the incomes and expenses of the application and guide you through how to build up a budget. So we'll start with the Nordic Culture Point income section. So here you'll have to state how much you're applying from us for this specific application. And keep in mind that the amount that you state here should also be the same amount stated in the application portal. So here we'll go for 15,000 euros applied for. Then we'll move on to the parts called Other Partners Financing or Other Nordic Financing. And here you can state, firstly with the Nordic financing, for example, Nordic Culture Fund, amount applied of 5,000 euros. Keep in mind that we have various criteria concerning how much you can apply for in total from the Nordic cooperation. More information about this is to be found on our website, as well as the different rates of co-financing, which can also be found on the website depending on the program and the amount you apply for. Then we'll move on to Other Partners Financing, and here you can, for example, state that you have financing from the government or that you have applied for funding from this. And for example, 10,000 euros. And on this side, you could, on the notes for the budget, you could specify, actually it's good, the more you specify what sort of financing you have applied for, from which entity, and if it's granted, if you're waiting for decision, and so on. So we'll move up now a step to the section called Own Financing. And the own financing is the part where you state what's your contribution or the partner in the project's contribution is to the application. It could be, own financing could be money that the participating partners have in their own budgets, or it could be services or goods that you evaluate. You have to calculate a reasonable amount that the services or goods or salaries are worth in this project. And for the sake of this example, we'll go for 3,000 euros in-kind salaries. So we'll specify that it's a salary, and also we'll specify the calculation. So this is based on 100 hours at a 30 euros per hour rate. This is, for example, a volunteering work that you have as your own in-kind part. A key rule for the in-kind part of the budget is whenever you state an in-kind income, you should also state it as an expense, and we'll go back to that shortly. Just keep in mind that whatever goes into incomes has to go to expenses as well. So as you can see here, you have various sections of incomes that you can state, and the total amount here is stated, as for this example, 33,000. And we move on to the expenses section, and here we'll start off with an example of 6,000 euros in travel expenses. Also here, please specify the travels, and if you can break it down to exactly which travels, the 6,000 euros or your own amount, what sort of travel costs are you trying to cover. Then we'll move down to the salaries and fees. As I just mentioned, anything that goes in kind, for this example we had 3,000 euros in kind in salaries, also has to go into expenses. So we'll state the exact same amount as the incomes on the expenses. Then we'll move down to production related costs, and here for example you can have 10,000 euros twice. Also here make sure to specify what sort of production related cost you're talking about. And finally we'll add 1,000 euros in other costs, and here once again specify which other costs that you have 1,000 euros budget for. And you see, as for now the budget is not in balance, so we'll have to look at what is missing, and you can add a 3,000 euros in accommodation. Also here specify if it's a hotel, if it's any other kind of accommodation. And the total amount now, as you can see, is in balance on 33,000, just as the incomes. Once you're done with this budget, please make sure to save the file and upload it to the application portal together with your application. And if you, during the time you're making the application or the budget, have any questions, please don't hesitate to contact us advisors for any questions. And as I said earlier, on the website you'll find plenty of information concerning the finances and what should be included in the budgets. Now we'll move on to the mobility funding and the budget for the mobility funding program. So once again, go to the website on the grant section and scroll down to the mobility funding. So the principle for the mobility funding is that you don't attach any budget, since we have a system of fixed rates for the accommodation and per diem costs, and also the travel costs. So once you're on the mobility funding section, you can scroll down to the finances and open the table of the fixed rates and fixed compensations. So on the first page, you will find the accommodation and per diem compensations depending on where you travel to. And on the second page, you will find the travel cost depending on where you travel from and where you travel to. And depending on the type of application, if it's individual or a group application, you will have to calculate in different ways. So for the sake of this video, I will give you two examples. So the first one is an individual application, and the second one is a group application. So the first one is an individual artist traveling from Vilnius, Lithuania to Denmark. And the first thing you will have to look at is the accommodation and per diem compensation. And Denmark, as you can see, is 140 euros. And then you will have to look at the travel cost. And let's say it's an individual traveling for 6 days from Vilnius to Denmark. Firstly, you count the 140 euros in accommodation and per diem times 6, 840. And then you will add the 300 euros fixed rate for the travel with a total amount of 1,140 euros. The second example I'll give you is a group traveling from Finland to Reykjavik, Iceland. So once again, look at the accommodation and per diem compensations. For Reykjavik, it's 150 euros. And this is an example of a group of 6 people traveling for 5 days. So first of all, you will have to count the individual per diem and accommodation, which is 150 times 5, that's 750, times the 6 participants, 4,500 euros. Next on, you go to the travel rate from Finland to Reykjavik. You see it's a 500 euros. This multiplied by 6 is 3,000, with a total amount applied for 7,500 euros. So this was a general overview of how to make a budget for the Arts and Culture program, network funding, Vault and Norden 0 to 30, and also on how you can calculate the fixed rates for mobility funding. As I said in the beginning, for the funding for artist residencies, the budget is slightly different, so please have a look at the website and also contact the advisors for this type of questions. And in general, once you have applied and your application has been approved, you will receive a part of the grant right away, and a final part of the grant once you have submitted a status report or a final report. So thank you for watching this video, and if you have any questions regarding the budget, please contact us at any time. Thank you.